my name is John Lindfors. I'm a partner at Digital Sky Technologies, DST, which is a late-stage investor in internet and technology companies. And what we really try to do is find global category leaders that we can back, typically after the venture stage. So we come in at the growth stage to basically support companies' growth. So slightly later than what we see here at Startup Sauna and Slush, but what we think is a very important stage of the growth of these companies. So my background is, I've been for a few years at DST. Before that, I actually spent a number of years at Goldman Sachs in London and New York, focusing on the technology sector. So I've been focusing on the technology sector really since the late 90s. So spent a lot of time with what we thought were going to be the world transformers back in 1999 and 2000, and then have just continued to work with a lot of tech companies since then.
Where are you based now?
In Hong Kong. So I moved to Hong Kong a couple of years ago.
From the Hong Kong perspective, how is the Europe and Helsinki startup region looking?
Well, there's obviously an enormous amount of activity in Asia, and in particular in China. And I think that from that perspective, I think that there's unfortunately in Asia a relatively negative view about what is going on in Europe in general. I think that what they don't understand is that the startup scene is actually quite active here. So they equate a tough economic environment and obviously problems, sovereign debt problems in Southern Europe with sort of a general malaise in Europe, which obviously is not the case. So I don't think that they are really aware of the vibrant startup scene that you have here in Northern Europe, and I think that it's something that one should try to do something about. So my talk about was really the transformation that internet and mobility is bringing people across the globe. And I think that there are just very, very fundamental changes that have taken place in people's lives, and more importantly, will take place over the next few years. So we have 2.5 billion people online today. We think that that's going to get to 5 billion in the next few years. We have already 6 billion mobile phone connections. Soon the vast majority of people globally will be online connected with a mobile device where they can access anything really 24 hours a day. And I think that that's just an immensely powerful driver, which is going to cause a lot of changes for a lot of existing companies and offer up a lot of opportunities for new companies. And that was really what I was talking about. So I didn't expect to find as many exciting companies and as many exciting entrepreneurs. I think that having 2,500 people here representing the entrepreneur community in Northern Europe is something which really took me by surprise. I think that there were 1,500 people here last year, so there's obviously been huge growth in this community. And I think that we will see even more people coming here. So I've met really companies from all across the world. I just spoke to a Spanish entrepreneur, obviously a bunch of Russians, a bunch of Baltic companies and Swedish companies, etc. So I hope that it will continue to draw a lot of people from all parts of the world in the next few years. So I'm actually very positive about the Helsinki startup scene, but I think that what is very important for these entrepreneurs in Helsinki and in Finland in general is really to look out and sort of try to figure out what is the opportunities for companies globally, because with a 5 million person market, you're not going to find a solution just for 5 million people. If you have 6 billion people with a mobile phone connection and 2.5 billion online, that's really the target market that you should go after, is my advice to startups. But obviously, you don't need to reach everyone, but I would definitely have an ambition to sort of reach beyond their home country, of course.
So if you wish an entrepreneur here would take 1 point from your talk today, what would it be?
I think that the world is your oyster. They have an opportunity to reach more people than any Finnish company had 10, 15 years ago. And I think there's just a fantastic platform that has basically been built for any startup, and they should really try to take advantage of that infrastructure, which is basically waiting for them to be accessed.